Countdown to kickoff continuing. Let's head out to Indianapolis with Philip B. Wilson of the Indianapolis Star. Phil, how are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Let's talk a little Peyton Manning. How serious is this injury?
Well, I just left his office at Lucas Oil Stadium. Everybody is petrified because we don't know, and that's the problem. He had the surgery in May. We thought he would recover and heal properly or quickly. We were told, quote-unquote, minimally invasive surgery. And evidently there's some concern that he might not be ready. There are reports on ESPN from some Colts sources, I don't know who those are, saying he might not be ready. That's why they went out and signed Kerry Collins yesterday. And I'm still telling my blog readers that bounce off Phil B. the Indianapolis Star, I'm telling him I think he'll play. But I think that the Colts are obviously nervous and anxious enough that they went out and got a 38-year-old, 17-year veteran in case he can't play.
How much pressure then? You talked about Kerry Collins. How much pressure is on him to learn this offense in a short time and, most importantly, win games for the Colts?
Well, it's a good question. The first part, really, Reggie Wayne told us yesterday there's no way. And I know Reggie's trying to stick up for Curtis Painter and try and be there for his backup quarterback teammate and try and help him win a job. But the reality is, Reggie's right. You can't learn this offense in 2 weeks. It's too sophisticated. There are too many checks, too many things that you do. So what do you do in turn? Well, you have to simplify it and try and adjust it to what Kerry's used to, the throws are still the same, whether it's an out pass, a slant pass, a pass down the seam, whether it's a check to a run, certain types of blocking schemes and coverages. So you adjust the offense for him because at some point Peyton's going to come back. I think Peyton will play, but if he doesn't, I think it's very imperative that they get him back within, I'm going to say, the first 3 weeks, because with Kerry Collins, I think the Colts start 1-2 against Houston, and then at home against Cleveland, at home against Pittsburgh. I think they start 1-2, and I just don't know with some of the other teams left on the schedule whether the Colts can afford a real slow start.
Now, you talked about Reggie Wayne, and let's pull up the quote right now. He said, "I'll be damned if we're going to open the door for somebody else and drop our heads on who we already have. Colts are big on protecting their own, right? So I'm going to help protect our own." Is there a locker room split right now between those who support Painter and those who support Collins?
Oh, I tend to doubt it, only because let's be really brutally honest here. Reggie's a stand-up guy. He's a class guy. He's standing behind the guy who's been here for a few years. But anybody and everybody can see that Painter stinks. He's flat out awful, and he has been. I'm surprised he hasn't dropped the clipboard more than once and gotten yelled at for that. I mean, he's just not very good. Many of us question whether he's even an NFL quarterback, whether he deserves to be in the league. And I know that sounds rather malicious, but his limited action, he was terrible. He's been bad in preseason. I'm talking simple throws. Reggie wants to help him. Reggie's sympathetic. Seriously, I mean, you look at the numbers, they don't lie. Painter's not been very good. I think the Collins signing was as much a statement about the backups as it was about the guy that's hurt, that's the star. I mean, yes, they might need him. Some of us, a few of us at least, think they won't. But if they would get hurt, good to have him. And either way, anyway you slice it, I don't think the Colts want to move forward with Curtis Painter and Dan Orlovsky. I could be wrong on that, but that's what I think.
Last quarterback question for you. How serious were the rumors floating around that Brett Favre could come in and start until Peyton Manning gets back?
We were laughing about that because the only reason it came up was because Jim Irsay, the Colts owner, loves to tweet. He's a very funny man. He's very entertaining. He's an eccentric because he's rich and travels a lot, but he's a very generous man too. And he gives a lot to the community, gives a lot to people. And I think he's found Twitter to be an outreach for him. And I don't know of any other owner in any sport anywhere that tweets Trivial Pursuit questions, name music lyrics, you can win free tickets, win money. He gave away a car. So when Jimmy gets on there and tweets that, hey, I'm in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and wondering where Brad Childress found, Brett Favre, naturally that set everybody off. Everybody went nuts. And I even wrote on my blog at the time, Jimmy, you are a funny dude. You're a wild and crazy guy. Those of us close to the team didn't believe it, didn't think so. And not to go to the well too often. Reggie Wayne even laughed at me yesterday. He said, "You think Peyton Manning will let Brett Favre move into his locker next to him?" I mean, no way. So we didn't put much stock into it. Boy, it would have been cool. I would have thought it was neat as all get out if that had happened. But I think that ship has sailed.
Let's head out to Facebook, facebook.com/TYT Sports. Taj Malone says, how are the Colts going to cope without Manning, even if it's only for the first few games, or can they even cope with the prospect that this could be his last year if his neck injury impedes him?
That's a good question. I don't think it'll be his last year because it would have been incredibly deceitful to negotiate through Tom Conlon a 5-year contract and announce that you were finishing your career as a Colt, even though you knew you had a neck problem that, could potentially end your career. I don't think it will. I think it's just a minor deal that's just dragged out a bit. And I'm the suspicious type, too. I'm not always convinced of everything I'm told. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if that guy could be ready to go in a week or two for the opener. So, but if that happens, then, hey, the Colts have got major issues because they've got a lot of great parts, but the engine of the car isn't working. And great parts in the car, you put that nice little stripe on your race car, and you think, wow, it looks so cool. But if the engine glitz on you, you're screwed. You're not going to go anywhere and show that racing stripe off to anybody. So if Manning's not here, they're going to find somebody else. Kerry Collins would not be the answer long term. Maybe they have to draft a quarterback earlier than they want to. But right now, I think everybody here is just hoping and praying that, if it is a game or two, fine. But please don't let this be the end, because he's meant everything to this town and this team for 14 years. He's taken a team that was basically clueless and lacking and didn't matter and made them the number one pick in town. It's hard to believe in Indiana that basketball and the Indiana Pacers is a distant second to football, but that's the way it's been since Peyton Manning rose to power.
Lastly for you, over under 9.5 wins for the Colts.
Got to say over, just because they've won 10 games or more every year since 2002, and I try and be optimistic going into a season. There's enough reason to be pessimistic. Trust me, brother.